fin is a device which is used to get the heat transfer rate by extending the surface area. Okay, so here you can see the area it is going to be projected here. So just imagine that if this area is not projected, then what will be the heat transfer rate? So this, whatever the area here, it is there W into 2B, which is similar to here, right? So if there is no projection, just consider here only the area W into 2B will be remains. So the heat transfer going to be takes place only from this area. So if it is only from this area, how much can be the heat transfer rate as compared to this? So there will be a very less heat transfer rate. Okay. So as you projecting this fin, so what happens? There will be more surface area going to vacate, so that the surface area as it is increasing, the heat dissipation also going to be increased, so that the more heat transfer going to be takes places. Okay, so there are so many applications we need to use these fins, because in some cases, okay, there will be a more heat going to be generated, that it is not sufficient area to transfer or dissipate the heat, so that as it is not having more area to transfer heat, then what happens, there will, due to that geometrical irregularities, there will be a stresses going to be induces or stresses going to be accommodated. That stresses we are going to call it as a thermal stresses. Once the thermal stresses going to be developed inside the material, again it leads to have a failure of the material, or it is going to be deformed easily. So that to avoid that, what we are going to get, what we are going to do is, we are going to increase the surface area by designing or by projecting or by extending the surface area. Okay, this extended surface area is called fins. Okay, so this way the heat dissipation it is going to be increases by extending the surface area as a fins. Okay, in form of rectangular fins or in the form of circular fins. Okay, then some numericals on this composite wall and the fins we are going to discuss now. So let's first consider the problems on fins. Okay, this is the problem I have taken. Now consider, they find the temperature distribution in one-dimensional fin as shown in figure. Take two elements for finite element idealization. Now this is the fin they have given. This fin, how the heat transfer going to be takes places, what will be the nodal temperatures, how the temperature going to be distribution takes place. Okay, we need to calculate. As we analyzing temperature distribution throughout this length of the material, we need to model or we need to idealize this element, this overall fin into two elements. Okay, so the requirement is there. Okay, according to that requirement, we need to discretize. We need to model the FEA model. If they're not given these two elements, then only one element you can consider for the length of the fin. Okay, if they are asking to model it into two elements, then we need to model into two elements. Then according to that, we need to analyze the fin. Okay, now so for this, according to their requirement, okay, you can model FE model, you can write it here as it is discretizing into two elements. Okay, the overall length, this overall length 5 centimeter, it is going to be discretized, or it is going to be divided into two equal spaces. That is, first one is Le1, second one is Le2. Okay, first element and second element, and the first element it is having a nodes, node 1, node 2. For the second element it is having node 2, node 3. Okay, the temperature at node 1 is T1, at node 2 is T2, at node 3 is T3, and the temperature variation takes place only in the along the x direction. Okay, only in one direction. This is how we are going to model finite element model for the given fin. Okay, it is considered as a two elements, element number 1 and element number 2 as per their requirement. Now see this problem here, the fin left end it is constrained, which means here heat flow going to be takes places and there will be no heat transfer going to be takes places this direction. Okay, so here because due to hot gases flowing, just consider this is the example of a IC engine. Okay, in the IC engine, the inside surface there will be hot gases going to be developed. Okay, in the outside surface there will be fins, like a motorcycle engine, you may see in that. Okay, there will be so many fins on the motorcycle engine. Okay, so inside the engine there will be a hot gases going to be developed, and outside the the heat going to be transferred to the surroundings through fins. Okay, so this is the example we have taken, so that it is concerned there will be no heat transfer takes place at this particular end, so that is it constant. Now, and this inner surface, what will be the hot gases going to be develop the temperature that will be equal to 140 degree centigrade. Then the atmospheric temperature or ambient temperature T infinity, which is equal to 40 degree. Okay, and it is having a circular fin. Okay, so the circular fin having a radius of 1 centimeter, and the pin length it is having 5 centimeter. For this, the heat convective coefficient H value given, that is 5 omega by centimeter square Kelvin. Similarly, the conductivity property, so the conduction of that particular material, the value is given by 70 watt per centimeter in centimeter Kelvin. Okay, now before going to do the analysis, okay, let us consider all the values in one unit, because now here they have given in centimeter length and also radius is in centimeter, then there is no problem, you can put it in centimeter. Okay, but as you before going to put these dimensions in centimeter, what will be the heat coefficient and what are the conductivity values they are given in for what area they are given, okay, for what length they are given conductivity, that you need to see. Here centimeter they are given, here also centimeter, then there will be no problem, you can consider in same units. Okay, but as taking the temperature here, the temperature they are given in degree here, and the heat coefficient and also the conductivity values they are given in Kelvin, so that you need to convert this temperature values into Kelvin, and you need to obtain the values first in Kelvin. Okay, then that you can convert into degrees. Okay, that is how we are going to consider in the analysis the units, it is most important units. Okay, so most mistakes going to be happen due to this conversion only, unit conversion. If you properly follow the units in only one manner, only in one unit system, then the problem whatever the answer will be going to be get in right answer. Okay, now just discuss about the given data, a specific temperature. Okay, again you can see here already we have discussed the boundary conditions. Okay, so there are three boundary conditions we have discussed. One is the first boundary condition is specifying the temperature. Okay, specifying the temperature that is equal to the Dirichlet boundary condition. The Dirichlet boundary condition, what it tells, at one surface we are going to specify the boundary condition, so that here hot gases has developed, the temperature we know. Okay, the known temperature it is going to be specifying here. As we specifying this temperature, with respect to, with reference to this temperature, we are going to find out the temperature throughout the length of the fin. Okay, so we must know the one temperature. By using that temperature only, we can able to find out the temperature at different points or different lengths. If you don't know the temperature, if you don't know the input, then how we can able to find out the temperatures? There should be a input, there should be a temperature must be specified. Okay, so that gives the 140 degree centigrade, the temperature at node 1 you can consider. Okay, that gives this a specified boundary condition, a temperature specified boundary condition, the first boundary condition. Now specify the temperature T1 which is equal to 140 degree. Okay, so 140 degree just convert into Kelvin, so that we need to add with the 273, which gives the 413 Kelvin. The length 5 centimeter, it remains with 5 centimeter. Okay, then so that we discuss L1, what is L1 here. After that, then surrounding temperature T infinity 40 degree, again it convert into Kelvin, 313 Kelvin. Then thermal conductivity, it is in Kelvin only, you can take it same way, and also heat transfer coefficient H also in Kelvin. Okay, radius 1 centimeter. Then the area you can calculate the area and also perimeter. Okay, because we need perimeter in the fins, the heat going to be transferred through conduction and also due to convection throughout the perimeter surface. The length of the perimeter, it is going to be dissipate the heat. Okay, so that the perimeter we need to calculate. Okay, so there will be no free end convection for this, because here the 1 centimeter radius it is having, or 2 centimeter diameter of fin, it is very less dimensions as compared to the length of the fin, so that there will be a very less heat transfer going to be takes places at the free end, so that that heat transfer going to be neglect. If it is more surface area, then we can consider free end convection also. But it is as compared to the length of the pin and also as compared to the perimeter, it is very less, so that we can neglect that heat transfer at the free end. Now just calculate area which is equal to 3.14 centimeter square, perimeter P which is equal to 2 pi r, so which gives the 6.28 centimeter. Now first finally model the whatever the given problem into two elements, so that element it is going to be divided into two equal space, so that L1 or LE1 which is equal to this 5 centimeter, it is going to be divided into two parts, so that LE1 which is equal to 2.5 centimeter, LE2 which is equal to 2.5 centimeter. Now already we discussed that for this we have conduction and also convection. Okay, conduction also going to be takes place throughout this length of the uh, fin, and also due to this perimeter there will be a convection, so that we need to obtain two matrices due to convection and also due to conduction. First consider for the first element. Okay, for the first element due to conduction, k1 which is equal to the conduction matrix is given by ak divided by le 1 minus 1 minus 1 1. Okay, now substituting this values, a value, k value, the conductivity matrix value k is for the first element 70, and if there is a the there may be a chances of different materials also. Okay, but later that will be happen in composite one. Now first consider in fin. Okay, only there will be same material 70, the conductivity property of the material, and area will be 3.14. The first element length is 2.5. Then substituting these values you are going to get 87.92 1 minus 1 minus 1 1. This is the conduction matrix for the first element. Similarly for second element, K2 which is equal to 3.14 into 70 divided by 2.5 1 minus 1 minus 1 1. Okay, as you substituting again we get 87.92 1 minus 1 minus 1 1. Now thus overall the global stiffness matrix due to conduction, overall the conduction matrix you can get Kc which is equal to K1 plus K2. Now we know that how to assemble. Okay, because here k1 and k2 there are two different elements, so that it is going to be connected. Okay, assembling, it is going to be assembling, so that in the assembling the procedure will be followed. Wherever the common nodes are there, that nodes going to be added. Okay, then remaining coefficient values keep it as it is safe. Okay, now the first element and second element, it is the first element corner value, that is 87.92. The corner value it is going to be added to the second element of first value, that is 87.92. Now see here, you can see this element, the first node, second node, third node. The second node will be common for the both elements. As you assembling it, the node again it is going to be overlap here, right? So that what we are going to do is here 2 to 2. This gives 2 to 2 combination. Okay, and again it is also give, and again it is also give 2 2 combination. If you write the degrees of freedom, this gives 1 2 1 2 here. Similarly for second element 2 3 2 3. Okay, here 2 2 this is the combination, and also here 2 2 this is the combination, here 2 2 this is the combination, so that 2 2 it is going to be overlap, so that value going to be added 87.92 87.92 at this particular location. Okay, so you can add. Okay, 87.92 87.92 which gives 175.84. Okay, so at this corner, okay, and this is starting value, it is going to be overlap, then remaining these three values and above these three values will be remain same, so that you can see these three values and these three values, and this particular location there will be no any values. Okay, so that we are going to keep 0. Now similarly we have to find out the convection matrix for the both element. Okay, now stiffness matrix for the convection, if you consider, just consider for the first element, the convection matrix is given by HPL by 6 2 1 1 2. Okay, for the first element AKH1 which is equal to H value they have given 5, P perimeter we have calculated 6.28, and L value is 2.5 divided by 6. As you simplifying, you get 13.0832111. This will be the a calculated equation. Now consider second element KH2 which is equal to 5 into 6.28 into 2.5 divided by 6. Now 2112. As you simplify, you will get a 13.0832112. Now we need to again assemble. Okay, due to convection for the first element and second element, again it is going to be assembling. So that assembling, we know that the first element corner value, that is 13.083 into 2, which is going to be added to the starting value of the second element, 13.083 into 2, so that which gives 52.33. Here only this node, only this combination, 2 combination only going to be happen, only 2 location we are going to add this, and remaining these values, this, okay, that becomes here, that is 13.0883 into 2, which gives 26.166. Okay, then 13.01083 into 1, which gives 13.0831. Okay, and below that again same it is, and this it is going to be added to this, so that it becomes 52.33. Again this is already added to that, right? So that left you just write down that 13.083 into 1, which gives 13.083, and again here this multiplication which gives for this point 13.083. Below that only, below this only you have to write, don't start with here. Okay, below this, okay, coefficient value will be started here. Okay, 13.083, and this value into 2, this gives 26.16, and there is no coefficients here exist here, so that we can keep it here 0. Okay, this is how we are going to get the a global stiffness matrix due to convection. Now, so due to conduction, due to convection, we have got the matrices. Then what is the overall matrix? Okay, overall matrix we need to obtain. That gives the global stiffness matrix. Okay, stiffness matrix due to convection and convection we have got. Okay, similarly, both we need to add it. Okay, for the both elements. That gives the global stiffness matrix. Now, global stiffness matrix K, which is equal to Kc plus Kh. Kc we have got like this, and Kh we have got this is, okay. Now in the previous case, for the two elements case we have assembled first element and second element. Similar way in the kh also, first element and second element we have assembled, which means only wherever the nodes it is going to be overlap, there it is going to be considered as common node, and that value is going to be added. But here kc and k2 kh, it is taken for both elements. It is not going to be assembling one element to another element. This is also for two elements, this is also for two elements, and whatever the value we obtain kc, okay, that values for the whatever the elements, for the same elements we have obtained the kh values, right? So that this kc and kh it is going to be overlap. Okay, kc and kh it is going to be overlap, because the same elements we have used to find out the conduction matrix and convection matrix, so that this matrix it is going to be overlap on this, so that each coefficient values it is going to be added at that particular location. For example, first location if you take 87.92 26.116, it is going to be added, which gives 114.086. Similarly, if you take second one, minus 87.92 plus 13.083 added, so that it gives minus 74.837. Then this 0 plus 0, it gives 0. Similarly, this is minus 87.92 plus 13.83, which gives again minus 74.837. Again 175.84, 52.33, which gives 228.173. Again here 87.92, 13.083, which gives minus 74.837. Similar way, this 0 plus this 0, which gives 0, this term and this term added, which gives this value, this term and this term adding gives this value. This is how we are going to get a global stiffness matrix after obtaining conduction matrix and convection matrix for the both element. Okay. Now, after obtaining this, we need to find out the force vectors. Okay. Here, force vectors only we are going to consider convection. So there will be no force vector for conduction. Keep it in mind. There will be no conduction force vector. Only the force vector existing due to heat generator, due to heat flux, and due to convection, and also due to free end convection. Okay, there will be four force vectors can be give taken, okay, according to the type of problem. Okay, now for this convection going to be takes place, the on the perimeter the convection going to be takes place, only due to convection whatever the force vector is there, that we are going to consider. Okay, so Due to convection, the force vector is Fh, which is equal to Ht infinity PL divided by 2, 1, 1. And again, this is equation given for only one element. Okay, you just again keep in your mind there are two elements. Okay, now we need to calculate a force vector for each element. Okay, for the first element fh1, which is equal to ht infinity pl by 2 1 1, substitute h value, t infinity, p value, l value. That gives equation like this. And also after simplification we get 1228.5.2511. Okay, similar way for the second element, the calculation for the force convective vector, which gives ht infinity pl by 2 1 1. So after substituting all the values, we are going to get the value 1228.5.2511. So this is the force vectors due to convection at element number 1 and at element number 2. Now to get overall force vector, so to get the overall force vector, that gives the global force vector Fh, which is equal to Fh1 plus Fh2, because both force vectors we need to consider, right? So how we are going to add, how we are going to assemble? Here again it is assembling. There will be no addition here. Okay, addition will be take place only at common nodes. Okay, now as it is assembling, the first element which is having node number 1, node number 2. In the second element which is having node number 2, node number 3, right? You can see here. The first element it is having node number 1, node number 2. The second element which is having node number 2, node number 3. Okay. So here node number 2 is common. So from that node number 2 is common, so that from the element number 1, element number 2, node number 2 is common, so that this common node going to be added, and remaining values of node number 1 and node number 3, it is remains as it is said. So first node number value 1228.5.25, and second node values here 12285.25 plus 12285.25 going to be added, which is 24570.50, and third node value will remain same as it is 12285.25. This is how the global force vector is going to be generated for the convection. Okay, now after obtaining the global force vector, so write the equilibrium equation kt, which is equal to f. Okay, so k is global stiffness matrix, what we have got here. This is, then the T is temperature, nodal temperatures at T1, T2, T3 are the temperatures of node 1, node 2, node 3, and which is equal to force vectors. Already we have got force vectors, that you write it here. Okay, now so by using the elimination method of handling boundary condition, you can eliminate and you can find out the values for unknown nodal temperatures. But here, how to eliminate it? What will be the procedure? It will be totally different from the structural analysis problems. Okay. Now just see here, node number 1 is, it is fixed. In the structural problems, that corresponding rows and columns we are going to eliminate, right? But in the heat transfer problems, even though if it is fixed here, we cannot be able to eliminate all rows and columns. Okay, just see here, node number 1 we have got value, that is 640, and it is just considering as a constant or okay or insulated, then there will be no heat transfer, so that corresponding rows and columns we need to eliminate as per the procedure. But as we knowing the T1 value, you can only eliminate this row and you can't able to eliminate this column, because here in the column there will be a value, there will be a coefficient value minus 74.83. It's going to be multiplied in the second row. Again in the second row, if you second row multiply with this column, it's going to be contribute to multiplication of this minus 74.3 into T1, which gives the value it is going to be contribute in the second row. Okay, so that if this value it is going to be multiplied with this T1 value, because here T1 value is there. If it is not value is there, then you can easily eliminate this row and this column, because of value it is there at node number 1, and node number value as it is multiply with this contribution, this values it is going to be contribute the in the second simultaneous equation to calculate the T2. Okay, as we want to calculate the T2, these values also be considered. Okay, so that what we are going to use, we are going to follow the steps. Okay, how to avoid this condition. Okay, so how to consider this, whatever the product 74.83 into T1 in the calculation of T2 T3. Now what we are going to do, 74.83 into T1, this again you know that what is the force is always again stiffness into deflection, that is for the heat transfer problems, the stiffness coefficient value into temperature. So 74.83 into T1, which is again nothing but force, right? Because it is stiffness into the temperature, which gives a force vector for the heat transfer problem. So this byproduct, this product of T1 into 74.83, it is as a force, so that it is going to be added to the second row of this force value. This T1 into 74.83 value, it is going to be added to the force value at the second row. Okay, how you are going to add that the simplification, the steps going to be followed this way. Okay, now just consider, okay, the second row which is given 74.83 into T1, then 228.1 into T2, then minus 74.83 into T3, just write down, which is equal to, this is 24570.50. This only take it the second row. Okay, as you're taking the second row, this product 74.83 into T1, you just take it into right side. Okay, so all the forces must be equal, right? So that this force must be equal to this force for equilibrium condition. Okay, now so as taking this product to the right side, and this value, it is going to be added to this, so that 74.83 into T1, here it is minus is there, as taking into the right side it becomes plus. So as you substituting T1 value as 1413 Kelvin, okay, it is going to be give the value 55479.42. Okay, then this thing it is remains as it is. Now this equation becomes the second equation. Okay, now after making this, after obtaining this equation, then we can able to eliminate, okay, first row and second row. After considering this product T1 into 74.8, then you can eliminate. As you eliminating row and column of first node, then only remains with this. Okay, that is nothing but 228 173 minus 7483 minus 7483 11.083, that you can write it, and T2 T3, and again here in place of this we have got this value, right? In place of this we have got this value, so that this value you put it here, and the third node value, it remains with same. Now by using the simultaneous equation simplification, or by using the calculator, directly we can able to calculate the values for T2 T3, which gives T2 which is equal to 353.93 and T3 which is equal to 337.97 Kelvin. Now this is how we have got the values, the nodal temperatures at node 2, node 3. See, you can see from this problem, at node 1 we have got 413 Kelvin. At node 3, what we have got value is 353. Okay, at node 2 we have got 353. At node 3 we have got 337, which means the temperature it is going to be decreasing as the length of the fin, the temperature it is going to be decreasing as the heat transfer taking place throughout the length of the element. Okay, so this is how we analyze the temperature. We are going to calculate the distribution of the temperature for the fins. Okay, similar way for the, there are so many combination going to be exist. Only here we have taken the convective, okay, force vector, then there will be a heat flux force vector, then there will be heat generator force vectors. Okay, that is also possible, so that combination problems also we can discuss. Now only simple problem I am going to consider, second problem. Okay, determine the temperature distribution in one dimensional fin as shown in figure. There is a generation of heat, uniform heat inside the wall of 500 watt per meter cube. Now see this fin. Okay, inside this fin there is a heat generation as the heat input taking plus 80 degrees centigrade. Okay, as entering into the element or fin, okay, then there will be heat generation going to be takes places, which is equal to 500 watt per meter cube, and it is also a hollow fin. Okay, sorry. So diameter of this fin is d, which is equal to 0.02 meter, and this fin it is going to be insulated for the length. Because of this insulation only the heat going to be generation. As it is insulating, there will be no heat transfer going to be takes place as the insulator around the perimeter and also end of the pin. So that what happens, as the temperature inputting 80 degree centigrade into this pin, then because of no heat transfer taking place, then there will be heat generation which is equal to Q dash, which is equal to 500 watt per meter cube. Okay, then what will be the temperatures? Okay, at this point already it is 80. Okay, and what will be the temperature at this? Okay, due to this heat generation, what will be the heat temperature at node 2? We can able to consider, we can able to calculate by considering only one element. Then if you want two element also you can do it. You can, if you want two element, three element, four element, as based upon number of elements or number of nodes you need to require, based upon it you can discretize and you can able to find out the a different number of nodal temperatures. Okay, at different locations. Okay, it is very small length 0.09 meters, so that it's you can make it or you can model it as only one element. Okay, so if it is a large length, then that you have to discretize into number of equal space. Now the given data is this is okay, the diameter given, heat generation value given, heat input value given, the length they are given, and also the conductivity value they have given. Okay, now this is take it or modeled into only one element, so that we can make it one element which is consisting of node 1, node 2. Okay, for the length of 0.09 meter, then k which will be length also in meter, k also in meter, and also temperature also in degree, so that no need to do any unit conversion here. Directly you can consider the values. Okay, now only for one element only it is conduction going to be takes place, even though there is no convection. Keep it in mind, because overall length of the fin it is insulated, so that only conduction throughout the length of the fin only the conduction process going to be takes place. There will be no any convection and also free end convection. Okay, so that only calculate conduction matrix, so that kc which is equal to ka divided by l, 1 minus 1 minus 1 1. So substitute the values, 400 of k value, 3.14 of a value. Okay, 3.14 into 10 to the power of minus 4 divided by l value is 0.09 meter. As you simplifying, you get 1.4, 1 minus 1 minus 1. Okay, this becomes only one element is there, so that global stiffness matrix k which is equal to kc only. So there will be no any kh also, because it is insulated. Understood? It is insulated, so that there will be no kh. Now after getting kc, then force vectors we need to calculate. What the force vector is there here? There is no convective force vector, as in the case it was there in the previous problem. But this particular case it is insulated, so that there will be no convection takes place, so that there will be no any convective force vector. Only heat generation takes place inside the material. Internal heat generation is there. Only that heat generation force vector we need to consider. Now taking this, the force vector due to heat generation is given by F Q dash, which is equal to A Q dash L by 2 1 1. Okay, so A is the again area, which is equal to 3.14 into 10 to the power of minus 4. Q dash, which is equal to the heat generation inside the material, which is equal to 500 into L is element length 0.09 divided by 2 1 1. So which is equal to 7 into 10 to the power of minus 3 1 1. Now global force vector only one element is there, so that F which is equal to Fq dash. Okay, then governing equation is given by Kt which is equal to F. Okay, so for only for one element K we have got this is, and T is T1 T2 and F is this is. Now at node number 1, okay, the value given. Okay, we are going to eliminate. Okay, we are going to eliminate only row, but we can't able to eliminate column, because this column value minus 1 into T1 it must be contribute in the calculation of T2. Okay, so whatever the minus 1.4 into minus 1.4 into T1, this is this value minus 1.4 into T1, this value must be contribute in the calculation of T2 value. Okay, so that whatever the input value must be considered, right? So that you cannot exactly eliminate the rows and column, only you can eliminate the rows and column value. This is at the column second value. In the second row, this value going to be this product going to be considered in the calculation of T2. So that take the second row, okay, only second row, that is minus 1.4 into T1, okay. That is also you can consider. Second row also is you can consider, and also first row also you can consider. Okay, both values is going to be give the same value only. Okay, you can consider second row or also first row also is okay, because it's a very simple and only it is having a single element. Okay, the any simultaneous equation if you consider, it gives the same value. 1.4 minus T1. Okay, 1.4 into T1, which gives this is minus 1.4 into T2, which gives this is okay. As you simplifying T1 value, as you substituting here, you are going to get T2 value is 90 degree. Okay, so as it inputting here 80 degree, here as we inputting 80 degree, so because of there is no heat transfer takes place inside the material, because of it is insulated entire area or entire surface of this particular fin. So as you inputting 80 degrees centigrade value, it is going to be increases to 90 degree. Okay, there is a heat generation inside the fin, okay, inside the material. So this is how thus the nodal temperatures, okay, at T1 is 80 degree, at T2 is 90 degree. Okay, so T1 we have got 80 degree here, right? T1 is 80 degree and T2 is 90 degree. So the 10 degree temperature of rise in the temperature going to be takes place for this particular case. This is how we are going to analyze the heat transfer through the